Ready? Ready.
What's up, guys? It's Pick'em with HuddleGG, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Huddle. If you guys are new here, this is a series that we do each week where we answer your guys' questions. So if you have a question you'd like answered in a future video, wherever you're watching this, just make sure you leave that in the comment section below, and we'll do our very best to get to it. If you don't see us get to it in a future video, you can always join our free Discord by going to HuddleGG/Discord, and we answer your questions in there as well. So again, appreciate you guys being here, but let's dive into this week's episode. And the first question today comes from C. Rob, and they ask, what is Mable coverage? Now, Mable coverage in Madden does mean a little bit different than what people say Mable coverage is in real life football. But in Madden terminology, we're going to go over what Mable coverage means, and it's really designed to help defend the sidelines. Okay, so what people will do, the easiest way to do it is going to be to have your zone drop set to specific depths. My personal favorite is having your flats at the deeper depth. So let's say that we want our flats at 25, and then your curl flats are going to be at the lower depth, so maybe 5 or 10. I typically will go 5 to start. You can obviously adjust these depending on how deep your opponent is attacking down the sideline. Now, from there, all we're going to do is we're just going to come out in a cover 2 type defense, and we are going to essentially flood one side of the field with our zones. So if you look to the right side here, you see how we have the deep cloud flat, and visually this year you can see it there as well. So obviously you see how the cloud flat's dropping back really far, the curl flat's going to that 5-yard depth, and then we still have the deep half over the top as well. So this is going to be something that can be really effective at defending these concepts like this, where they're going to go streak, corner, and a flat, right? So we can really defend everybody to the sideline. And you can do it to both sides as well. Sometimes people will double Mable. So you can see on the left side, we could also Mable that side if they were running something like a smash concept here, as you can see. Again, if they're getting underneath of your cloud flats, you can always adjust those depths to make it maybe 20. If they're getting over top of the 25, you can always put it to 30. And you also have the opportunity to custom stem zones this year as well. So let's say that that cloud flat is a little bit too high on the right. You can custom stem this down once on the D-pad, and you can see how the one on the right now is a little bit shallower, about 5 yards closer than the one on the left. But if they do go to throw this now, you can see that we have good defense for this type of a concept because of the defense that we have set up with this Mable coverage. So again, a very, very effective defense if your opponent is attacking the sidelines. Now, you do need to understand it will make you very vulnerable over the middle. So if they're attacking over the middle over and over, this is not a defense you want to run. But you can see how we're able to take away the flat with the curl flat. We're able to take away the corner with our cloud flat. And then our safety would be over the top as well to take care of the streak. You can always put an inside quarter on that player as well if you really know that this flood concept is coming. But over here to the left, you can see that we're able to defend this smash concept as well with the quick little out and then the corner out. And again, simply because we are Mabling. So again, when it comes to Madden terminology, Mable means we're going to have 2 different depths of flats to the sidelines. We're going to have a shallow flat and a more deeper flat. And again, the easiest way to do it is by using your zone drops and your coaching adjustments, but you can also use your custom stems with your zones if you are a little bit quicker with your adjustments. That will give you a little bit more freedom to put them exactly where you want them to be. Our next question today comes from Hot Boy, and they ask, what's the difference between a mid-read and a deep middle third? And this is a really good question. And a mid-read is going to be something that you see when you are running a Tampa 2 style defense. And again, a lot of times it's going to be your Mike linebacker. Somebody in the middle of the field is going to be in this mid-read. And at times, it's going to look similar to if you put a deep middle third on the field. So something that's been very popular in years past is something that we taught as the Tampa 3 defense, where we would put middle linebacker in a deep middle third, and then we would put the safeties and outside thirds to their respected size. And it would look something like this to try to mimic more of what a Tampa 2 in real life plays like. But EA did do a really good job this year in updating how cover 2 plays in the game. So first of all, your mid reads are going to get a lot more depth. And your safeties also pinch the sidelines more than they used to. So you don't really have to make that adjustment we just did anymore. You can definitely just run more of a traditional Tampa 2 in the game because of how it will play. Now, with the mid-read, it is going to match certain routes. I need to clarify, if you're using zone drops or you're playing the sticks or doing something like that, he is not going to play his matching responsibility. So just make sure that if you want him to match against the routes that he is designed to match against, make sure you do not have zone drops on. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to QB spy off my defensive line just so we can see exactly what it looks like, so we don't have to worry about the pass rush coming in right now. But again, the mid read is designed to essentially take any route going down the seam. So if something like this, tight end from an inside receiver, again, so a slot receiver to the inside, tight end, he's going to take that seam all the way down the field, and he's going to match it. So you're going to see him get a lot of depth initially, and then he's going to match onto that, and he's going to run with that all the way down the field. And if we just throw this ball away, we're going to go into replay and see exactly what that mid-read looks like. And I love how quickly they get depth this year on the mid-read. Okay, you're going to see a difference between that and the deep middle third. But you can see here in the mid-read, he's going to get depth really quickly. He's going to turn his hips and run. And then once he sees that this tight end's still running that seam, he knows that he has to match onto that now. He's going to take that all the way down the middle of the field, because if you think about it, depending on the route combination, they may run a deep corner over here to get the safety out of the picture, as they did over here. And nobody's in the middle of the field now to take a streak or a seam right down the middle. That's the mid-read responsibility. That's his job, and that's what he's going to do. And again, he does a much better job than he has in years past. And again, EA did update how Tampa 2 does play this year. Now, if we do that same exact route combination, but now we have a deep middle third, first of all, you're going to see that in the end, he's going to essentially do the same thing as what the mid-read did, but he's going to do it less effectively, honestly. He's not going to get depth as quick initially, and he can get beat over the top a little bit easier. So here, what you're going to see is he's going to shuffle, and you can see how he does turn and run, but it's a little bit different because he's shuffling his feet first, and he's not getting that initial depth to start the play. So again, this is a deep middle third here, and if we look at the linebacker here, you're going to see that again, he's shuffling his feet initially. He's not getting back quickly, which at times can get you burnt over the top. Now, on this play, he does a good job where he's able to stay with the route. But you can see here the difference. So again, in the end, they're both going to be running down the middle of the field with the seam, but they are going to get there a little bit differently. Now, where these zones will differ and where you'll notice the difference is, let's say that nobody's going vertically down the field, okay? Especially down the middle. So let's say that they're running a route concept where everybody is going underneath, okay? Now, obviously, this is not a great route concept here, but again, just assume everybody's going underneath, nobody's running deep down the seam. If we have the mid-read on, or sorry, if we have the deep middle third on here, what you're going to see is that linebacker, even though he's getting there slowly, he's going to keep backing up. Okay, you can see he's all the way back to the 10-yard line. He's all the way back to the 5. He's all the way back to the goal line. Again, essentially, he's going to be another deep safety on the field because of his responsibility. So again, if you have him in a deep middle third and they're not attacking deep down the middle of the field, he's going to essentially be playing himself out of the play. Now, if we leave him on the mid-read here, and nobody is going vertical, okay, so you can see he's on the mid-read again. If nobody's going vertical against a mid-read, you're going to see that he's going to stop at about 20 yards because he realizes nobody's in his zone, and he's going to sit right there. So he's not going to completely take himself out of the play as much when he's in a mid-read versus if he is in a deep middle third. But you can see there when somebody did run into his zone, he's still going to be able to react to that and take that until it is out of his zone. So if we look at this again, first of all, I like how he gets depth quicker in a mid-read. But once you see here, he sits at that 20-yard marker, 21, 22 yards here, and he's just going to sit here. But if somebody does run into his area, you'll see here at the end of the play, he is going to react to that, and he will take that until that guy is running out of his area where he doesn't have to worry about him anymore. So honestly, I personally like the mid-reads better this year rather than a deep middle third. In years past, again, we'd always have that deep middle third on the field just to protect the middle, but I think that the mid-reads do a little bit better job this year, especially from quick little seams from tight ends or inside slot receivers. Our next question today comes from Maxi, and they ask, if you adjust a single defender when running match coverage, does it affect the rest of the match rules on the defense? This is a really, really good question, and something that's actually went back and forth in in recent years in Madden, where sometimes it would affect everything else, sometimes it wouldn't. So what we're going to see here is if we're running something like palms coverage, okay, and they're in a trip set, and they run something like this concept here, the slot corner, who's in the quarter flat, is actually going to be responsible for the middle receiver on that vertical route. And you're going to see the safety is going to take the post to the inside receiver, and then the slot corner, the quarter flat there, is going to take that A down the field. So what you're going to see here is if we say hike, it's going to work exactly like that, where you can see the slot corner is going to take that guy down the field, and that's their matching rules against a trips defense. Now, obviously, we're not going to dive deep into the rules here, but they did that correctly, right? This is what we should expect if we're running palms against trips, where you're going to see the slot corner here in the quarter flat match that vertical down the field. Now, let's say that your opponent is running something quick to the flat, and you just want to take that away with your slot corner. So let's say that you put him on a hard flat. The rest of your defense will recognize that, and they will adjust accordingly to make sure that that seam route there to the A, if we run that same exact route combination, that he's not running wide open down the middle of the field. right? So in the previous rep, when we had normal palms on, you saw that the safety on the left side covered the post. But now that we have adjusted that slot corner to a hard flat, that safety now recognizes that seam route is not going to be covered anymore because our quarter flat's not on the field. So what you'll see here is they're going to essentially adjust to that and make sure that they take care of it the way that they need to, so somebody is not running free down the field for an easy one-play touchdown. So again, the answer to your question is yes. If you adjust a single defender, it will change the match rules behind it. Again, this is actually really good because in years past, people would adjust one player and they wouldn't really understand the rules of the match coverage behind it, and they would just be giving up easy one-play touchdowns. Now your team will adjust a little bit for you, depending on the single adjustment that you make on the field. Our last question today comes from Atlanta Falcons, and they ask, what plays beat formations like 2-4 double mug? Now, unfortunately, I can't give an entire answer for this or a complete answer because it does really depend what coverages they're running from that formation. But I will show you one of my favorite concepts against the alignment, because again, a lot of times when you're looking at defenses, there are two things that matter. Obviously, the coverage that they're running. Are they running cover 3, cover 4, cover 2, man, whatever it may be, and also the alignment of the defense. And where you can really take advantage of the alignment of the defense is with RPOs. So one of my favorite, probably my favorite RPO concept against that double mug look where mid blitz and plays like that are super popular are going to be RPO read flats. So we have two here in the Giants playbook, but just look through your playbook if you're not running Giants. The one we're going to be running here is tight open. Again, motion RPO read flat. And when we come out in this play, what you're going to see is if we look to the right side of the screen, we have the R icon on the edge defender, which is exactly what we want. That R icon player is not going to defend the throw. We don't have to worry about him. And then they have two defenders out wide with the corner and the safety, and we have two blockers. So we have the numbers advantage over there as the offensive player. A lot of times people will bring this guy down here, but they're going to stand him over the middle. They're not going to get out wide to defend the flat. And what you can do here is you can actually, when you say hike, you can pull the ball with the quarterback as if you're keeping it with the read option to give your receiver a little bit longer time to get out wide. And you're going to see here, we're just going to pull it. We're going to throw it, and you can see you can get the edge. And because we have the blocking advantage out there, you're going to be able to get a lot of easy one-play touchdowns with this concept against a double mug type look, especially when they're leaving those middle linebackers in the gaps. Now, if they do that again, the other one that we have here in Giants is out of spread. And again, it's RPO read slot slide. But again, if you get these RPO concepts where it's a read with a receiver running almost a flat route to the opposite side here, you're going to see that same thing. We have the R icon on the edge defender there. We have 2-on-2 to the outside. What's going to happen is we're going to say hike. We're going to pull the ball. We're going to throw this. And you can see that we have the opportunity for huge gains here against this alignment. So again, in general, it does depend what they're running in double mug. I can't just say, hey, run this play no matter what they're doing. But if they're running something like mid blitz, and even if they're running a different defense, let's say that they're running Tampa 2 out of this look, we can still do it, right? Because we still have the alignment advantage when we're running this RPO look, especially when they're leaving those linebackers in the gaps. So we can say hike here. You can see, even though it's Tampa 2, we're still going to be able to get some big yardage simply because we're taking advantage of the alignment of the defense. And a lot of people talk about RPOs being broken. They're not broken. People just don't understand that the alignment of what they're coming out in defensively really does matter if you're trying to defend RPOs appropriately. So if you have a player who's using this defense or an alignment like this, make sure you take advantage of it with these RPOs and force them into changing their defense, or you're going to be able to have really good success throughout the game with this concept. And if you guys are looking to get even better at Madden, make sure to join our free Discord by going to HuddleGG/Discord.